Chloe giving us the first slate of the first shot of the first scene of Return to Ravenswood.
The Ravenswood reel, the Ravenswood reel, come spin me your secrets and turn me your wheel. The Ravenswood reel, the Ravenswood reel, what goes round will come round the Ravenswood reel. The Ravenswood reel, the Ravenswood reel, the Ravenswood reel.
And then the dialogue comes in and we cut to them already. I've done a number of short films over the years and I thought that I was ready now to do a feature film. I already knew that the feature film had to be a comedy because it's my favourite genre. And I've had an idea floating about for a number of years now about culture clashes. I wanted to make, sort of address people's attitude to belief, blind faith and religion. I think the film is probably a metaphor for modern religion and people's attitude to religion and how far they would take their beliefs.
Yes, I think it was like... Yes, I think so. Yes, wonderful. Okay, good. Off we go.
The way I see it, I think I probably share Mark's view on it, is that it's about belief systems and faith systems and how they can actually take over your judgment and lead to strife and tolerance, done in a comedy style, but as a very, very tiny microcosm for all the problems that go on in general in the world when people take their faith a little bit too seriously and cannot step outside of their box.
I chose the comedy to be improvisation purely for the fact that I wanted it to be a mockumentary. That was the best way and the best style that I wanted to get the message across. I wanted to be in these people's lives, like a doorway to their lives. With improvisation, the reason we did it that way, as opposed to traditional script, was I wanted the performances to be raw and spontaneous. I mean, if you look at a real documentary, people aren't rehearsing what they're going to say. You know, it's there in the moment.
Yes, of course. I do talk out. I don't really...
I always said that the camera itself was also another character in the film, because the camera is there with all the scenes. I always said that to our DOP, David Wells, that imagine you are another character, and that lens is a character following in on the action. I also think it gave a lot of fun for the actors as well, you know, going in. They hadn't got to learn lines as well, which is always good.
I mean, it is supposed to be a comedy and it's supposed to be surreal, yeah. And if we stick to rigid characters about she would never do that or whatever, I think you lose the dramatic license. You lose the comic value, whereas this is it is surreal. And
with locations, I remember going out to Recce in September 2004, and I'd already had in my mind a village in Surrey, which is southeast England, called Shear.
Have you enjoyed your day in Shear, everyone?
Well, he's brightened up now. It's much nicer. I don't have to wear the silly hat.
Looking forward to my cream tea.
Yeah, we've been promised it. This is our payment. This is £3.50 cream tea in the pub, and apparently the director has promised that as payment for today's work. Whether he actually, comes through on that, I don't know.
Los Angeles.
Hello, Susie.
Good morning.
How are you?
Running it and action.
I'm very disappointed.
I've always prided myself. I think I'm quite good at casting. Always get the best people for the best roles. With people like Gwen and George Goody, I've used Heather Tracy and Adrian Palmer again, who I've worked with before on Dawn Razor and Shelf Life.
There is actually a...
I just got to go through some method acting here. Oh, push. Oh, there she is. She's 21 years old.
There's a fantastic resemblance actually between the three of you. Look, it's incredible.
We look like
a family.
Definitely.
Oh, Gwen. I fell in love with Gwen. She's so unbearably awful, really, but people like that are wonderful to play. The basics of Gwenny are her faith. That's absolutely fundamental, because that's where the conflict comes from. Is not only her faith, but her cultural faith.
Milton Meadows backs onto our land.
Yeah, that's very important. Milton Meadows back onto your land. You've got about, I don't know.
That's the one.
I've got a couple of suggestions there. One that I caught the hip is making crop circles.
Yeah, because I've actually got some real photos of crop circles.
Yeah, and I caught them dancing across my shrubbery.
Adrian and I go back a long way, a very, very long way. We were at drama school together in the early 80s, and he was bloody good even back then, and he was one of the few in the year who actually went straight out of drama school and got his equity card and some great jobs, while the rest of us struggled, you know, doing cleaning and performing in very smelly old people's homes and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. I feel that where you're coming from. Then you went back to poor old George.
I'll take him.
So it's just the only thing I was unhappy with is the light. Okay. Yeah. With Dominic Clay, the reason I played Dominic Clay was purely the fact that I wrote him with actually somebody else in mind, and I understood the character probably better than anyone else because I know I have a little bit of the experience with that background.
Okay, who ate the cake? Who ate the cake?
Amber Chakra was played by Carla McKenna. Once again, brilliant performance, totally researched her part, knew exactly where she was coming from.
I'm going to have an orgasm.
You can have an orgasm.
You'll be the first woman that I've been anywhere near who has.
Amber is very, very driven by her own beliefs about her being in touch with aliens, and it's almost to the point that she believes so strongly and influences other people. It's all to do with blind faith, really. But I can see a moment of truth in her character, the spiritual side of things.
I'd like to think that shooting in Los Angeles was actually part of the production schedule, but I would be lying. Looking for the Hollywood sign at the moment, and we're not quite sure where we're going. I had a very good map, which has proved unhelpful. So,
yeah, that was cool, really cool. I always wanted to go to Los Angeles anyway to see the Hollywood sign. Once I was in the Hollywood sign, I just want to go home again.
We're in Santa Monica, Kim and I. We're just going down here with George, who's behind the camera, and do some shooting for Return to Ravenswood.
And I thought, okay, we're in LA, how can I get that into the film? So I came up with the concept that Dominic Clay, when he had his out-of-body experience, decided to go on a world dowsing tour and douse the world's ley lines.
Yeah, Mark was a pain in the arse. I couldn't even have a cup of coffee without him filming something.
Location scouting on Santa Monica, 3rd Avenue Promenade.
Are you right there, Richard? Looking quite...
Just trying to get into the head of the character.
Inspiration for the shoot.
The moment, as it were.
The moment. And who are you playing, by the way, for the...
I'm playing Oscar Stein, the ufologist.
Ah, so that's quite an integral part.
Yeah, playing Reverend John Magister was Mark Bennett.
Actually in front of the camera playing Reverend John Magister, and this is my church. Be quiet for a second and listen. It's a beautiful atmosphere, isn't it? And that's what we're trying to convey in these scenes.
You're happy to sacrifice at the altar of...
Don't try too hard to break it. Probably better off if it doesn't break than you proceed to try too hard. Yeah.
So actually, he's thoroughly organised. It's just maybe the actors aren't necessarily on top of it.
Yes, yes.
When you've got a gift, you don't need to really
absolutely,
prepare. I find that
and
it falls into place.
I'm in such demand that I've got so many scripts coming at me, I get lost.
Yes, apart from the principal cast, I found that I needed a few more people to play village residents and the hippies, part of Dominic Clay's Ravenswood reception committee. So what we did, we called an extra audition. I brought in sound recorders and second unit director Barry Heath, Heather Tracy and Carla McKenna to come in on the audition panel to help us out. And we pretty much we cast nearly everyone who came to the audition because everyone was just superb. It's the morning, the 21st of June. The summer solstice. Don't go straight into it. That's the big one. Think of your beats. Think of your beats. Yeah. I definitely wanted a narration in the film. That was supplied by Rupert Booth, who I've worked with before, who's a very accomplished writer. And he did once again a superb job.
How do you feel about doing that?
I feel good.
You feel good?
I knew that I would. I feel good.
You did. There's some very good narration there, actually.
Thank you.
See?
It was all actually done by a stand-in.
I chose David Wells as my director of photography. I've worked with David a few times before.
It's a walk-in shot, nothing more than that. Right, cool. I just think it kind of more coverage quite nicely.
Yeah, coverage.
Yeah. Then what I suggest you do, walk in from there, pick up from the start of the movement around the other side.
He was also he wasn't just a cameraman, he was very much in on the action. He would very much suggest things as well. I mean, sometimes I could turn, I had a fairly interesting shot, but he turned and say, can I suggest this and make it into a superb shot? And he also, he's done more than just be DOP, he's helped with the post-production side as well. so the logistics. So yeah, he's great. That's why he's, you know, I've given him a line producer credit as well.
Just doing about 3 or 4 shots to see which one we're happy with. Me and David are talking the same language, making sure we're happy with the way it's being shot.
Our beloved director, Mark English, did he make tea? I'm trying to remember, did he ever make... He did make tea.
Could you explain to us what happened to the key prop, the cake?
Well, what happened was I said to please everyone, do not eat this cake, because this cake is put as a prop for Eve. Which meant, really that meant, please eat the cake. So we have no cake left, so we're going to blag it.
I think the cast found it quite refreshing that they didn't have to come there or not constantly thinking of lines, but also at the time it's very hard work because you're constantly listening what's going on around you. You're not waiting for a cue line. You're waiting to think, oh, should I say something here? Yeah, I think here. And you come out with it like in a normal conversation. People had to work hard because, as I say, you're listening to what's going on. But I think at the same time everyone had a lot of fun doing it. You know, some of the stuff that people came out with, well, obviously I'm not expecting it. And me laughing is very unprofessional.
He did also occasionally fluff really good takes because he burst out laughing.
The funniest bit actually for me was when I was doing my alien language during meditation. I could see Mark's head going up and down, trying really, really hard not to laugh in the background there. And I was trying really hard not to laugh. So I was just kind of, you know, it's really hard when you know someone's laughing at something you're doing and actually keep a straight face doing it.
Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Alright.
I'll move that.
You're rolling.
And
England, a country rich in heritage and history.
With the music, I definitely, right from the start, I wanted a folk soundtrack.
Boom, boom. I've just got this image of Christopher Lee. Summer is coming.
Yeah, the Wicker Man.
Loud, boom, and him in his whatever long. He looks like the Morrigan.
Yeah.
And I think Heather did an absolutely splendid job. She really nailed. I think Heather's very much in tune with what I wanted to do with the movie. So she really nailed those compositions.
Wicked had been floating around in my head for a long time. The chorus certainly had, but I had no lyrics. But I had this tune which wouldn't go away. And when Mark's said, oh, I could do with a bit of a folk soundtrack or something like that, I just thought, I think there's a couple of other songs in me, and I'd really like to have a go at this because I've never really tried to write songs before.
Ravenswood reel, the Ravenswood reel, come spin me your secrets and turn. Spin me your secrets and turn me your wheel.
The musicians we found are friends of mine who are all either guitarists. I mean, Sarah Lee Allen I've known for many years, and I knew she's a great singer.
We definitely needed a male voice, backing voice, because otherwise it's too female heavy, the whole thing. And Peter O'Shea came in and he played guitar as well, brilliant. And we got our singer in as well, and who played the flute. It's just wonderful. But it was quite tight on the day because nobody had had a chance to rehearse anything.
Yeah, Gemma did great on fiddle, really good job on fiddle. She's very talented, and the fiddle really sort of lifts up the incidental music, and like tail end in between scenes. It's beautiful. So on the Saturday we had it's Peter O'Shea on vocals and second guitar, Oliver Bruce on lead guitar, Heather doing her bit with the vocals and composition and arranging, Sarah Lee Allen on flute and second vocals, and then we had Baz and Duncan in the studio doing engineer.
Baz and Duncan were great because they gave me whiskey and chocolate, and that kept me going throughout the recording session, which is probably why the music ends up sounding like it does. I apologise, but you know, their argument was that the chocolate would build up on the vocal cords, but it was fine because the whiskey would then strip it off again.
The editing took about 7 months, and was a bit trying at times because although it's improv, I found that the storyline, I basically threw the script out of the window and was top-entailing scenes that maybe have been in the third act, I put it into the first act. You know, it just worked that way.
What I enjoy most about doing Return to Ravenswood was the camaraderie, I think. We all get on really well. The crew, the director, and the actors. It's a hoot.
I have a big fantasy that it's going to be a cult hit and I'll be very rich, which would be great because I could really do it in the kitchen.
Return to Ravenswood was a very ambitious project. I'm really glad I did it. I feel it's definitely the movie I wanted to make. I want everyone to have a chance to shine. Hopefully it would be, be nice if it was a bit of a cult hit or something. But you don't know about these things. Send it off to the film festivals and see what happens. But I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of everyone's. Mostly, I'm proud of everyone's work they put into it. Yeah, no, it's good fun.
Cut. That's what we need.